Bond market, September 2021. In fact, we are witnessing significant growth developments in the bond markets, and in this regard, plenty to learn. A major trend, if you look at the global bond market, global sukuk market, again. Let's also look at the Gulf bond market, sovereign series. That is a significant portion in today's context, especially in the GCC. We'll also look at what's happening on the syndication, especially from the Gulf perspective. Now, international bond market, the bond issuance exceeded last year, 2020, 5.67 trillion, and exceeded this year. If you look at this number, up to the last month, it is around 4.22 trillion. So easily will surpass in the next 4 months' time 7 trillion. The Fed meeting has happened. Now tapering will start. The 10-year treasury as it stands now is 1.33, I should say. Now, the central bank is widely expected to indicate across the globe they will start actioning on the inflation and see whether interest rate hike is required or not, and they will monitor very closely the monetary policy and has to be in line with the fiscal prudence as well. So it's all going to happen. When you look at the global sukuk market, global sukuk issuance exceeded 67 billion in 2020 and had exceeded 51 billion in 2021. The major sukuk issuance include Oman sovereign sukuk 1.75 billion, Aramco 6 billion, Malaysia Wakala sukuk 1.3 billion, and Indonesia SBSN around 2.25 billion, Asan Warlik 2.5 billion, ISDB Trust Services 2.5 billion, Dua Capital 1 billion, UK Sovereign Sukuk 685 million again, Federal Land Development Authority, that is around nearing 500 million, $487 million, Dana Infra in National Bond, that is again the 545 million, Lambaga Perumahan, that is for Malaysia, this is 945 million. So a lot of actions on the sukuk side. On the Gulf bond market, if you look at the big picture, GCC sukuk issuance exceeded 35 billion in 2020 last year, and is about 22 billion as we speak now. The major sukuk issuance in 2021 includes global sukuk, include South Africa 6 billion, Alali United Bank 0.6, Saudi Arabia, I should say. And when it comes to Sharjah sukuk 0.75, and Dukhan is around, Dukhan has issued tier 1, that's around $500 million. MR issued sukuk, that's around 0.5, and Kuwait Finance House issued sukuk of 0.75 billion, that is 750 million. Dubai Islamic Bank around 1 billion. Oman Sovereign Sukuk 1.75 billion. Riyadh Bank has issued around 930 million. NCB is around 1.25 billion. FAB, the first Abu Dhabi bank, has issued sukuk of 0.5 billion, and Saudi real estate refinance is around 1.07 billion. The Gulf bond issuance exceeded 90 billion in 2020 and is close to 67 billion in 2021. The major bond issuance in 2021 include Qatar Petroleum, 12.5 billion. Qatar Petroleum bond issues from over 500 investors and demand peaking about 40 billion US dollars. Ooredoo 1 billion, Doha Bank reissued 500 million, Bank Muscat 500 million, Al Bank Qatar 500 million, that is CBQ has issued additional tier 1 500 million, NBK additional tier 1 bonds 700 million, and various bonds issued by QNB again. It includes sovereign bond issuance, namely Saudi government, if you look at it, 5 billion, Oman government 3.25 billion, Bahrain government 2 billion, and Sharjah government 1.25 billion. So plenty of opportunity to invest in those markets where we can see the returns depending upon the market risk. GCC banks and sovereign continue to tap the bond market at a brisk pace in 2021 as they try to take advantage of the low interest rates and prospects of economic recovery. Impact of COVID-19 on earnings have spurred banks to raise capital through bonds to strengthen their balance sheets. You need to do that. Bank also needs to issue bonds to pay off once maturing this year, and there also been some additional tier 1 bond issuance from GCC banks. They are perpetual bonds that could be called after a specified period by issuing bonds. Banks have issuing additional tier 1 bonds since the global financial crisis to raise capital and comply with Basel III capital requirements. Even though the banks have the option of continuing interest payments indefinitely, they generally exercise the call options at the first available callable date to show their financial strength. Look at the CDs. Qatar CDs around 43 basis points, Saudi is around 53 I should say, the basis points. Dubai is around 97 basis points. Abu Dhabi is around 43 again. Bahrain is around 268 basis points. Syndication wise, Gulf syndication market loans have surged nearly 72 billion in 2021. However, it has taken a fall. I should say, around about 62 billion in 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic. This year, it's picking up well so far. Gulf syndication itself is moving over 70 billion.